Hi, this is Dave from Priority Bicycles, and I'm going to show you today how to build your new Priority Start freewheel. Now, before we get started, you'll notice on the Priority Start that it says it's a bike with no brakes. That means that there's no back pedal or coaster brake, only front handbrakes. It's very important that your little one is an advanced rider who understands how to use handbrakes before they start riding the bike. Further, we recommend that you review the owner's manual in its entirety and go over it with your little one before they start riding. Now, when it comes to assembly, we always recommend that for your safety and your child's safety, that a professional bicycle mechanic either assemble the bike, or if you choose at-home assembly, to have a professional bicycle mechanic double check your work before your little one starts riding. Now, to get started, you'll need a pair of scissors or a set of diagonal cutters, and it'll be helpful if you have a Phillips screwdriver. Let's go ahead and open the box. Once you've opened the box, start by opening your parts kit. Inside your parts kit, you're first going to find your owner's manual. We strongly recommend that you stop, review the owner's manual in full, and go over it with your little one before proceeding. Tools-wise, you're going to find a 15mm wrench. We're going to use the open end of this wrench for both the front wheel and pedal installation. A 4mm Allen, and a 5 and 6mm combination Allen. You're also going to have two pedals. Note at the end, the pedals are labeled R and L, right and left. It's really important that you only use the right pedal on the right or drive side and the left pedal on the non-drive side. Now let's go ahead and unwrap the bike. You'll notice a yellow warning sticker on the front forks that show the correct way for the front of the bike. Note that while the bike shifts with the brakes off to the side, the brakes do need to be in front of the bicycle. Once you've completely unwrapped the bike, you should be able to stand it up with the fork pointing forward and again the brakes pointing forward. Now, using your 4mm Allen wrench, remove the faceplate on the handlebar stem. Grab your handlebars and rotate them up so that your front brake cable or left side is the frontmost cable and your rear brake cable turns underneath it to go around the opposite side of the bike. Holding your handlebars in place, go ahead and hand tighten the faceplate back on. Use your wrench to finish tightening. Once your stem is properly tightened, we're going to move on to the pedals. Grab your 15mm wrench and start with the pedal labeled R on the axle, or right. The right pedal goes on the right crank, and it's standard thread, so you'll turn it clockwise. Make sure and get each pedal good and tight on the crank arm. Now for the left pedal, please note that it's reverse thread. This means we're going to turn it counterclockwise. Again, make sure you get this good and tight. For your child's additional safety, we've included a belt guard in with the bike. To assemble the belt guard, you'll need a household screwdriver. Inside the belt guard package, you'll find a washer, a short screw, a long screw, 2 nuts, a small clamp, and a large clamp. If by chance you don't have the 2 nuts, look inside each clamp. There's one side that's round and one side that holds the nut. One of the nuts may be inside the clamp already. To begin, grab the larger clamp, take one of the nuts and put it in the rear. The front has the protruding catch. Go ahead and install the clamp over the seat tube of the bike. Grab one nut and stick it in the rear side of the clamp. Then, using the smaller screw while holding the nut in place, begin to tighten the screw until you're sure the threads are engaged. With the larger clamp on, slide it down above the belt. Grab the belt guard and attach it to the protruding catch, while also putting the rear of the belt guard inside the seat stay of the bicycle. Twist and slide it on. Get the belt guard in a position about 1/4 inch or so above the belt and tighten. Now, take the smaller clamp with the nut side facing the rear and install it on the seat stay of the bike. Take your longer screw, insert the washer, and start by putting the screw and washer completely through the clamp. Then, with your other hand, grab the remaining nut and hold it behind the belt guard and tighten. You may need to loosen and tighten a little bit to make sure the belt guard is adequately covering the belt yet not rubbing. Once in place, ensure both screws are tight. While tightening, you will need to hold the rear nut in place with one hand. Ensure there's no rubbing and move on to the next step. Now, let's install the front wheel. Grab your front wheel and take a look at the tread. You'll want to match the tread up to the rear of the bike so that the tread is facing the same way. Once you have the tread facing the same way as the rear, loosen both axle nuts considerably. And on each side, you'll find 2 washers, a round washer and a hook washer. Push those towards the outside. Next, unhook your V-brakes by pushing in with one hand and pulling out the noodle, this is the brake noodle, with the other hand. With the brakes open and the washers pushed to the side, go ahead and insert the wheel into the fork. On each side, you'll want to put the hook washer in the hole of the fork leg. With the wheel centered, use the open end of the wrench to tighten. Make sure the front wheel is secure. Once secure, you're going to rehook the brake following the opposite procedure. With one hand, push both arms closed and slide the noodle in. Now, with the brake in, let's go over some basics of how the brakes work. First, grab the brake lever a few times, then lift up the bike and spin the wheel. You should find that the pads are evenly centered, equal distance from the rim, and that the pads are not rubbing when you spin the tire on the rim. If you find that your pads are not hitting the rim in a straight, even manner, you can use your 5mm Allen wrench to adjust the brake pads. If you find that when you grab the brake, you'd either need more or less pull, you can adjust that pull using the barrel adjuster here for small adjustments, or using the 5mm Allen here for larger adjustments. If you find that one side of the brakes is giving more pull than the other, you can either increase or decrease the spring tension in each brake arm using a household screwdriver and the black screw here. Screwing in gives more tension to this arm. Screwing out would give less tension to this arm. We recommend installing the rear reflector on the drive side of the bike, between the belt guard clamp and the brake mount. To start, remove the Phillips screw. Then put the clamp with the nut facing inward on the seat stay, again between the guard and the brake arm. Then tighten the screw, making sure that the reflector is perpendicular with the ground. Now I can go ahead and do a safety check. I'll check the seat position and I'll tighten the quick release. I'll check my rear brakes and go over every bolt on the bicycle to ensure that it's tight. At this point, again, if you've chosen home assembly, we do recommend that you have a professional bicycle mechanic safety check the bike before your little one rides it. The assembly is now complete. We hope you love and your little one loves their new bicycle. If you have any questions, the fastest way to get us 7 days a week is via email at info@prioritybicycles.com. Thanks for choosing Priority.